Hey everybody, Phil Kerner here, the guy from Erie. And you know, the other day during the holiday vacation for Thanksgiving, I took a few of my nephews and one of my nieces bowling, and they're all under 10 years old. And we had a great time because kids love bowling. It's simple. Knock them down, start over, knock them down again. But I noticed throughout the afternoon, they were starting to get curious about the scoring. You know, and I love automatic scoring because the reason it was invented, of course, is everybody gets sick of keeping score. But it is a part of the game, and bowling is kind of a difficult sport to learn how to keep score at. And when I was pointing to the automatic score, they weren't getting it because it's instant, so they weren't seeing the process. So, my niece Kelly was very intrigued by bowling and how the scoring is kept. So this video will help all beginners, and if you've never kept score before, I used to be an expert scorekeeper. During my teenage years, I used to keep score for tournaments, and I could keep score for um, about 10 guys at once and keep a running total at the bottom of the score page so they knew which team was winning. So I think I know what I'm talking about. So this little video is for all of you who would like to teach yourself or your children how to keep score in bowling, so at least when you look up at that automatic score, you get why the score is what it is. So hope this helps.
So this should be interesting. I've got this camera focused in on a scoring sheet, and let's just put a name in here, and we'll start with my niece Kelly. So Kelly's going to go bowling, and of course you would add everybody else's names underneath. So let's say the first ball or the first shot that Kelly takes, she gets 5 pins. So there's 5 pins left, and she gets 2 more of those. So there's 3 pins left, so she has a total of 7. You simply add the 5 and 2, and that's a 7. Okay, not too bad. Let's say the next time Kelly bowls, she gets a 3 and a 4. 7 again. So what you do is you add the 7 to the 7. 14 now is the total in the second frame. Pretty basic. Now we're going to amp it up. Let's say the next time Kelly bowls, she gets a 7, but now she gets a spare, which means she got the other remaining pins on her second shot. You can either go like that across the box, a diagonal line, or if you have the time and you feel like it, you can color it in. Nothing goes in that box right now because the spare is worth 10 pins automatically, plus whatever you get on this first shot in the fourth frame. Not too hard. Let's think about this. So Kelly goes up and she gets 8. Her first shot. 10 plus 8 is 18. 18 plus 14 is 32. Now let's say Kelly makes another spare. We're going to leave that blank again because the spare is worth 10 plus whatever she gets here. So you already see that it's 10 plus the 8 is the 18 onto the 14. Now what happens if Kelly gets up and gets a strike? The symbol for a strike is an X, or you can color it in. A spare is worth whatever you get on 10 plus whatever you get in your first shot. Well, she got all 10 pins, so 10 plus 10 is 20. 20 onto 32 is 52. Now it gets a little trickier. The strike is worth 10 plus whatever you get on the next 2 shots. So let's look at that. Strike. So Kelly gets 5 on her next shot, which doesn't matter. It's not like a spare. We don't have to add that because it's her next 2 shots combined. So if she gets 5 and on her second shot gets 3, add these 2 together. 5 plus 3 is 8, plus the 10, 18, onto 52, 70, and then add that back onto it. 5 plus 3 is 8, 78. And this might not make a lot of sense to you already, but if you just follow along and watch this a few times, you'll get it. Here's where it gets a little tricky. Let's do this. Let's say on her next shot, she gets a strike. And on her next shot, she gets 8 and a spare. 10 plus your next 2 shots. 10 plus 10, 20. On to 78, 98, and then it's again back to the spare situation. It's 10 plus her next first shot. And if she gets 6, 16 onto 98 is 114. And if she misses the last remaining shot, She has 120. Now we go to the 10th frame. The 10th frame is a bonus frame. If you get 8, miss, you just add the 8 to the 120, so 128 is your total. If you make a spare, you get to shoot one more shot. And if you get another 7, it's 17 onto the 120, 137. Again, you can watch this as many times as you want to see the math here, but it's all tens. Now, the only tricky part with bowling is multiple strikes. So I won't do a whole game here, and we'll just do X's this time. Let's say somebody gets a strike, which is 10 plus the next 2 shots. But what if they get another 10? Well, guess what? You leave that alone. Now it's 10, 20 plus the first shot. Isn't that weird? So if somebody gets 10, 10, and 8, this frame becomes 28. 10, 28. And if they miss it, then you add back to the old formula. Strike is 10 plus the next 2 shots. 10, 8, 0. That's 18. Then plus the 8. 54. It gets even weirder. Strike, strike, strike. The most you can get added up is 30 pins. It's bad luck to fill it in, but I'm going to do it here. It's bad luck. That's called a turkey in bowling. So it's 10, 20, 30. That would be 84 here. And this stays blank yet. If they get another strike, it's 114. They just keep adding 30. Every strike after 2 is 30 pins. If they get 7 on the next shot, it'd be 10, 27. 27 onto that is 141. Miss the spare. 17. Strike plus the next 2 shots total. 158 and 165. And then the way it would finish is, what if they got a strike here, a strike in the 9th frame, 10th frame, first shot, second shot, third shot. It would be 10, 20, 30, 195, 10, 20, 30, 225. Very nice game. So in the end, I think this explains how a 300 game works. Strike, 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 10, 20, 30, strike, 60, strike, 90, strike, 120, strike, 150, strike, 180, strike, 210, strike, 240, strike, 270, and the final strike gives you a total of 300. So it should be interesting. You can take a look at this and print it. At the bottom of this video, I've got if you go to my website, if you're watching this on my website, there's a PDF where you can download this very sheet and fill it in with me and practice and take it with you next time you go bowling. And hopefully this will help you learn how to keep score at bowling. This is Phil Kerner, the guy from Erie.